Good morning, and thank you so much for tuning in and joining me on this exploration of the message of the hour. We want to find out whether or not the message of the hour is a spiritual entity that a person could be a part of and not be a part of, or if the message of the hour is just what I believe it is, virtual reality. In other words, something that you have been made to believe that it exists, but it really doesn't exist. And I want to start out by reading three quotes from three different messages by William Branham. The first quote is from a message, God hath provided a way. And he says, and the Bible says in the last days, there will come a former and a latter rain. Now, do I believe that? With all my heart. Of course I believe that. That's what the Bible says. And now William Branham has said it, and I believe it. And then in the message, Future Home of the Heavenly Bridegroom and the Earthly Bride, William Branham says, paragraph 296, Christ has gone and is preparing a place that's been on construction for many thousands of years, preparing a place. And if I go prepare a place, I will come again and receive you, that where I am, there you may be also. Notice the Redeemer and the redeemed. Do I believe that? With all my heart. I do believe that. And the last quote is from a message the mighty God unveiled before us. And William Branham says here, paragraph 120, he says, now we've got a big brother, Jesus, the Son of God, and he came to pay it off for us if we'll just believe it and be able to enter into the veil with him. Do I believe it? Yes, I do believe that. These are three quotes from three different messages, and I believe them. Now, am I in the message of the hour, or am I not in the message of the hour? If someone says, to be in the message of the hour, you have to believe every single thing that William Branham said. I would say William Branham said that men have one less rib than women do. Now, scientifically, we know that's not true. I mean, the anatomy of a man and the anatomy of a woman, the skeletal framework is very similar, especially with the rib cage itself. We have the same number of ribs. Now, in other words, you don't believe that, or you realize you don't have to believe that to be in the message of the hour because it's not true, and I don't believe it because it's not true. William Branham said our bodies were made up of 16 elements. Just the other day, I counted more than 45 elements. So that's another statement that's not true. I'm not trying to be all scientific on him, but I'm just trying to show you that nobody believes everything that he said, or even has to. And if I believe what I read this morning, then am I in the message or am I not in the message? Someone clever would say, but you have to believe doctrines, some doctrinal revelation that was brought forward in the last days. I say, thank you. Now we've come to the heart of the matter. Because my brother and I have both left the cult. His former pastor does not believe that a man can leave his wife for another woman. For whatever reason, he does not believe that a man is allowed by the Bible to leave his wife and marry another, except for the cause of fornication, as Jesus says. But he does not believe those things that William Branham stated. If she cuts her hair, you can leave her. If she does not want to be a wife to you, you can leave her, and all those things. His pastor does not believe those things at all. Well, my former pastor has actually married men who left their wives for whatever reason. Now, which of the two pastors believes the message of the hour? Because we'll have to admit that one of them believes the message and the other one doesn't. Now, the one who does not believe the message could not be a message believer then, could he? And if they are both message pastors and hold diametrically opposing views to this issue, which was revealed, then how do you ascertain who's in the message of the hour and who's not? Because we've just shown that, firstly, we've shown that no child of God believes that everything William Branham said is nonsense. We've shown, secondly, that nobody believes everything that he said. And thirdly, we've shown that even those things which were revealed, no two people necessarily have the same exact view. Or rather, we have shown you that two men of God have diametrically opposing views, but they're both in the message. So it shows us that the message of the hour is virtual reality. It's something that does not really exist because no one can define it. It's got no characteristics. No one can say, this is what makes you a message believer. And if you do this, you're not a message believer anymore. So, in other words, friends, if you are trusting in being in the message of the hour for your salvation, it means you are trusting in something that does not even exist. Now, that is very scary. It's like standing under an imaginary shelter from the rain. It's like living in an imaginary bomb shelter. You're not safe from the bomb. You're not safe from the rain. You need to come into something that really exists and remain there and stop putting your trust in something that does not even exist. What is that thing which exists? Oh, the cross, the blood that Jesus shed for us, and his living word that shall never fail. The message of the hour, friends, is just a concept. It perhaps even a well-meant concept, but we can see now that it does not hold any water at all under scrutiny. So I challenge you today to seek the Lord while you can and establish your life and your salvation on the basis of what he did on the cross for you and his holy word. And forget these flashy things that were brought to you, because none of them will work and none of them will stand in the day of judgment. God bless you. Have a great day.